safe. We have the weapon pointed in a safe direction. All right, weapon is in a safe direction. We need to remove the source of the ammunition. We need to work the slide at least 3 times, working the slide 3 times. Once we've worked the slide 3 times, we lock it to the rear. How do we lock it to the rear? We use that slide stop lever. Comes back to the notch in the slide. As we're pulling the slide to the rear, we put upward pressure on that slide stop lever. It comes to the rear and it locks. All right? So we work the weapon 3 times. After we've removed the source of the ammunition, we lock the weapon to the rear. It's still pointed in a safe direction. We visually and physically inspect this gun to make sure that it's empty. We use our finger to feel if there's a round in the chamber. We step if we need to, and we look down the magazine well to see if there's any ammunition in the magazine that we accidentally left in the weapon. We look, no magazine, no round in the chamber. We look away, and then we look back and we do it again. We feel if there's a round in the chamber. We look to see if there's a magazine in the magazine well. All right? We don't put the weapon toward the ceiling, and we don't put the weapon toward the floor to see if there's any ammunition in it. We keep it pointed in a safe direction. We look and we feel. We look away and we do it again. Once that's done, we can put the slide forward, put it back in our lockbox, wherever we're putting the weapon, and store it safely. All right, conducting an initial load. Conducting an initial load. When are we going to do an initial load? This is when we're loading the weapon for the first time. We know the weapon's empty. We want to come out with the weapon in our normal draw stroke, just so that we get in the habit of correctly drawing that weapon. We come out. This weapon might have been in your lockbox. It comes out and comes out of the lockbox. We need to point it at the floor to be safe. We're in a safe direction if it's against a solid wall or something like that. So we have a magazine. The weapon is empty. Remember that. We've cleared this weapon. We know it's empty. We want to, out of good practice, eyes muzzle threat. This is a practice so that anytime we do an initial load or an emergency reload of this weapon, we are looking through the weapon and at our threat or our potential threat. So when we do an initial load, let's do the same thing. We know the weapon's safe. It's safe to point it in this direction. That's the only time, because we know it's empty. All right, we take our source of the ammunition, we insert it in the weapon, we tug on the magazine to make sure it's properly seated. If we don't do that and it doesn't seat, and we try to put a round in the chamber, it will not take a round. Let's step back, we insert the magazine, we tug, we rotate it in a safe direction, because now we're going to make this weapon loaded and it's going to be hot. We do not want to point this in any direction that's not safe. The weapon's pointed in a safe direction. We can slingshot and put a round in the weapon. After we've done that, we press check to see if there's a round in the chamber. We tap on the rear, and then we're ready to holster our weapon.